Hello Internet, Yuka here with more Nick and stuff. And yeah, pretty much. I've been working with a lot of tweaks for the game. Like, I have a couple of mechanics that are just pretty much solidified already, and they are kind of set in stone because this is how they work, and that's the way it's always been, so don't touch it because blah blah blah. And I began to just um, making tweaks to a couple of them. Like, for almost half a year you've been having 3 turns in combat, so you enter combat and then you have to um, assign 3 moves each round. And I'm not sure why, because I wanted this to be more like, I wanted the combat system to be more than it actually is, and I wanted the combat system to be able to use these turns in different ways. So you could have 4, but your enemies only have 2 because you're so much faster, or the other way around, and stuff like that. And instead of doing that, I just accepted the mechanic and I just stopped working on it. And it was pretty much, I'll deal with it later. And I'm not sure if that worked out. Probably not. Not since I'm here talking about it right now. So the tweak that I made was just, okay, 1 round is 1 move. So instead of 3 moves, you only do 1, and that increases the like it increases the flow of combat slightly, I would say. But it mostly, like, it changes the tactics a bit as well. Like, instead of having to think about your 3 next moves, you can just think about your next move, so you don't have to think ahead as much. And that is good and bad. But I think it's a good thing, since the damage output from your weapons, they're changing. So they're changing all the time when you're using your weapons in combat. So why not? And I should probably apologize again, because my camera is crap and it will change light settings, and my chair is creaking as well. And well, everything is just well, everything is just. And so tweaks like that. Been There are 2 or 3 more tweaks that I've made, and pretty much testing them out and see if I like it, and if my players like it, and stuff like that. And if they do, then I will probably tweak them some more to like find an even better version of it. On top of that, I've been creating some more content. I've been creating, I think it's like 20 more weapons. So yeah, more weapons. And I'm not sure if I talked about it before, but I have a couple of tiers. So I have 6 tiers of weapons that are like, they're so much better. The tier 1 and tier 2, there's like a shit ton of difference between how powerful they are. So instead of just having 1 tier 2 weapon, I decided to have a couple of them, and with some range in terms of health and damage and stuff like that. So they're better than tier 1, but they are different. So instead of just, this is more health, more damage, it's different combinations of more health, less damage, and the other way around, and stuff like that. So tweaking a bit, or not tweaking, just adding more variety to the weapons. They all look the same, and that's bad. I haven't come that far yet, so I kind of want to have unique icons for each and every one of them, and I will do that, but not right now, because it's, well, I don't really know how to draw 22 different swords. that's hard. And like especially like I don't have that much fantasy to the game. Like if I had a more fantasy flavor to the game, it would be so much easier to just flame sword, ice sword, lightning dagger, poison dagger. Oh, that's not fantasy, but you get the point. Thunder sword of God's son or whatever. Just a shit ton of crazy fantasy weapons. Like take any MMORPG and grab a list of the top 10 weapons, and I assure you they are crazy bananas loco, and they're not like copper sword, better copper sword, exceptional copper sword. No. And I would probably try to add more unique names to them, because right now the names are kind of bland. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Not sure. They are like, for real, they're named like Iron Sword, Rusty Sword, Good Sword. So yeah. And instead you could add more flavor to them, like unique names. Unique names from characters that are either in the game or in the lore or in the history of Sweden or stuff like that. So you could add more stuff that way as well. So I added some, like I started to add some components in terms of like lore and history and stuff like that. So the game is set in a forest during the 1600s in Sweden, and the Swedish king, who calls himself Carolus Rex, he has an army, and the army spans. I think the army spans across different kings. So there's a couple of years where the kings are pretty much called Carl, and the Latin version of that is Carolus, and the army is named, or the soldiers are called. I'm not sure how to pronounce the English word, but Caroleans. Yeah, well, so in Sweden they're called Caroliner, and that's like a super powerful Swedish soldier, and they are right now in the game. So that's a really nice thing to add like the Swedish history flavor to the game as well, and not just here's more wood, here's a tree, here's a rock. They're not enemies, but you get the point. Hopefully, I'm not sure if there even was a point there. So there's that, and I spent more time just adding more visuals to the game as well. I played around a bit with lighting, and I got a couple of things. Is the word I'm looking for. A couple of things that kind of worked out, and I tried to experiment a bit with them, and like I really like the God Ray thing that I made a couple of days ago, and so far people seem to like it, so that's good. So I want more of that stuff, because I think it's pretty as fuck, and I want more of that stuff. Always trying to grab the pen when I don't know what to do. So I'll just put it there. So yeah, awkward. Other stuff, other things that I've been doing is spending more time with YouTube, and I mean I produce these videos, and I edit them a bit from time to time, and so far it seems like people actually enjoy this content, this type of content, just me talking about life in general, and like what life is behind the actual game, like me as a game developer. And I'm not really, I didn't really expect that. So I'm getting more subs than I thought I would, and more comments than I normally do get. And so that takes more time as well, and in a good way. I think it's fun to spend time on YouTube just answering questions and talking to you guys, and I enjoy it. I really enjoy it, and it's fun. It's super fun. So more of that stuff. And last thing I've been doing is just planning the playtesting, and I have a version right now that I'm still working on a bit, and this week was supposed to be like super playtesting week, and I got a couple of friends that are available, and just plan out the whole, well, playtesting sessions where we sit down online, of course, and they play the game while they're sharing their screen, so I can see what they're doing, and we will talk about how things work, and what they think about, or how they think stuff works. So instead of just telling them, oh, here's a mechanic, it works like this, it's like, well, what do you think? Because I think that's important to get as well, like the information of, or like how a player experience your new mechanic. Like, you haven't seen this before, what do you think it is? How do you think it works? And why do you think that? And do you think that I need to add more feedback and stuff like that? And just stuff like that. And so yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. And like, I've started to add more hours into the game as well, like adding more working hours. And I think that's something I've been waiting for, because I'm in a phase right now where it's kind of boring to work, and I kind of have to push myself to get the hours in. And right now it's getting easier because it's more fun, because it's more rewarding for some reason. I don't know, but maybe it's a phase, or maybe I just ended the other phase. I don't know, but I'm still just trying to get all the hours in, pretty much. And it's probably the biggest downside to working at home, because everything is at home. I have everything available here. Just play a video game for an hour. Whoops, it turned into 2, and stuff like that. And that's a problem. Like, the biggest problem is everything is available here, and it's hard to focus sometimes. And it would be awesome to have an office, but that's not going to happen anytime soon, because I need the moolah to afford an office. So yeah. And to do that, I need to publish a game. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you again next time. Goodbye.